what was the reason for the stop?
For your mud flaps.
So my mud flaps were too short. We go down Moon Lane. There's barely enough room for 2 cars to pass by. So I come up here to where it clears up. I pull over, and then you come over here and rip my door open, and then start accusing me of what? Saying I have pot all over me, which is sawdust from working because I've been cutting all day. You feel all up on me.
There's also pot on your edge of your seat, man.
So there's this video of this guy getting pulled over down in Texas, allegedly because the mud flaps on his truck were too short. The cop pulls open his door, has his gun out, ends up taking him out of the truck, frisking him, and otherwise searching and detaining him. Was any of this constitutional? Let's look at the footage and we'll discuss.
What are you doing?
Turn the vehicle.
Okay.
Turn the vehicle. Okay.
Okay.
Why are you rolling, man? I let you way back.
What do you mean, why am I rolling? I didn't see you till I was right here on this street, and I kept going because there's no place to pull over. I pulled over whenever it got open.
I let you way back there.
Where?
Man.
Where at?
At the beginning of Moon Lane.
At the beginning of Moon Lane.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Whenever I turned off, I saw you.
Let me get your license, man.
Okay, well, I'm going to hop out.
No, stay in the vehicle.
Okay. You have no reason to come up here and just open my door like that, for sure.
Okay. Insurance.
Guy pulled his gun on me and everything.
Okay.
Crazy.
Put both hands on the wheel, please.
Okay.
Both of them on the wheel. All right, remain there. Do not move, okay? I'm going to take out the vehicle.
Sounds good. You can shut my door. Will you shut this door?
All right, go ahead, hop out.
What are you doing?
Hop out.
For what?
Hop out.
What's the reason?
Hop out, man.
What's the reason? Can you tell me what the reason is? You come up here and you pull your gun on me, and then you rip my door open for no reason.
Step out of the vehicle.
What's your reason for pulling my door open? What's the reason for pulling the door open?
It's an older truck, man.
So you just ripped my door open because it's an older truck?
And you're rolling. People who roll have warrants.
I haven't rolled anything.
They have pot all over their pants.
I don't have any.
Like marijuana in your vehicle.
This is sawdust. Okay, sounds good.
Put your hands up on the vehicle.
For what?
Hands up on the vehicle, please. I'm just going to frisk you.
You're not going to frisk. What am I under arrest for?
Put your hands up on the
What
vehicle.
am I under arrest for?
I'm frisking you for weapons, Bubba.
Okay.
I'm not putting your handcuffs.
I don't have no weapons.
Spread your legs, please.
You're gonna touch all up on me whenever. Yeah, that's gay as hell. Look at this boy. Look at this boy. He's getting all up on it.
All right, stand back here, man.
So what's the reason for the search? What's the probable cause?
For your mud flaps, man, being too short.
So you ripped my door open and frisked all up and opened my truck up for my mud flaps for being too short? Is what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Yes or no?
You have warrants.
Is that what you're saying? Yes or no? Yes or no?
2729 Texas deal.
What's your name and badge number?
Robertson, 8848.
Robertson, what'd you say, 48?
55 5164 3355 5164. In the blind.
You said 48?
Yes, sir.
So you pulled me over. What was the reason for the stop?
For your mud flaps.
So my mud flaps were too short. We go down Moon Lane. There's barely enough room for 2 cars to pass by. So I come up here to where it clears up. I pull over, and then you come over here and rip my door open, and then start accusing me of what? Saying I have pot all over me, which is sawdust from working because I've been cutting all day. You feel all up on me.
There's also pot on your edge of your seat, man.
There's pot on the edge of my seat.
Come here. Do not go back in the car.
I want to see all this. Yeah, for sure. But that, again, you rolled up on me and ripped my door open because my mud flaps were too short?
Yes, sir.
So that's normal procedure for you to just run up and rip doors open because the mud flaps are too short?
You have a car rolling, man.
I wasn't rolling. I got to a place where I could pull over so that people weren't stuck getting in and out.
There were people who roll have drugs.
I wasn't rolling doing anything. I was sitting there calmly cruising.
They're not to any good, man.
So I'm automatically bad because I didn't want to block the drive.
10-4. All right, Mr. Schultz. Let's start over.
No, we're not starting over. You came up on me, ripped my door open, and pulled your gun on me.
Just tell me the unit. I'm gonna PC search once other vehicle gets here.
What's your probable cause?
Odor of marijuana, partner.
So you ripped the door open and there was odor before or after you ripped the door open? Because you ran up on me with your gun drawn and ripped the door open. Is what you did, yes or no? Yes.
It's all been recorded. If you want to copy,
you didn't start your body cam until after you ripped your door open. I watched you. You started it right when I handed you my license. Right, yes or no? Yes or no? So what are we here for now?
I'm gonna be on probable cause search.
For what was your probable cause? Because my mud flaps were too short?
Odor of marijuana.
But there was no odor until after you ripped my door open or before?
It doesn't matter. You were rolling the window down anyway.
I didn't roll this window down. Not at all. I rolled that side down. See how it's down? This window's not up. He ran over here and ripped this door open and had his gun drawn on me.
Absolutely.
Is what happened.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So where's your probable cause at? Before or after you ripped the door open?
I opened up the door and it was coming from the car as well.
What car?
This pickup.
So it was coming from, so with the window up, there was odor of marijuana coming out?
Absolutely.
Is that what you're going with?
Absolutely.
Sounds good. It's going to be an interesting one for sure.
So, how much marijuana is in the vehicle?
I don't have any marijuana in there.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
I got sawdust in there, and evidently that's marijuana. There's no probable cause because you came up and just ripped my door open. Oh, nice. Now he's trying to get a tent ticket. He's going to try and get something today.
You live on Moon Lane, man?
No, I'm not answering any questions. You have my license.
All right, let's break this down. The basis for this traffic stop was alleged to be mud flaps being too short. Now, is that a thing? So I looked it up in the Texas statutes. If a vehicle has more than 4 tires on the rear axle or something like that, then there's this mud flap requirement and they have to be like a certain number of inches from the ground. And here you can tell that this police officer had used that before as BS pretextual justification to harass people, and that's what he's doing here. So if you have a dually in Texas, police officers can just say, well, your mud flaps aren't 4 inches from the ground. Whereas for most of us who are driving around, they have to just lie and say that your tag light is out. And then the officer, once he performed this stop, then he used their other favorite that police officers use across the country, and that is, well, I smell marijuana. And it's almost always a lie, like I guarantee you. And how absurd is it that still in 2024, the police officers are allowed to use that BS lie that they smell marijuana? Because what does that do? With just a regular traffic stop for, let's just say, mud flaps, that only entitles a police officer to hold you there for a reasonable amount of time to do the normal things that an officer would do for a equipment related traffic stop. So get the ID and the insurance and the registration and run a check on that and write a ticket, blah, 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 blah. It does not allow them to come just automatically and open up the door, to get them out of the vehicle, to hold them at gunpoint, to put them in handcuffs, to search them, to frisk them, all that sort of stuff. So there has to be additional facts. Third, we see this officer, I mean, he uses everything in their usual bag of tricks. So he also says that you rolled on me, or you didn't come to a complete stop quickly enough. A lot of times that's BS as well. Here he utilizes that to open the door of the car, to pull him out of the car, and to frisk him. Because normally, again, just because of mud flaps being too short, police officers don't get to pull you out of the car and frisk you. Now, frisking somebody, police officers are allowed to do under certain circumstances. It's called a Terry frisk. And what even a lot of police officers don't understand is there are 2 requirements that are necessary for police officers to do this. One, they have to have a reason. They have to have probable cause that an individual is both armed and dangerous. Here we have none of those things. The only thing that the officer could point to is that he didn't come to a stop quickly enough. How does that indicate that this guy may be armed or dangerous? I would argue that it does not at all. And this guy really handled it fantastically. I mean, he kept the video running and he started cross-examining this police officer. And the officer, what does he do? He just starts answering him. He has no obligation. Police officers have no obligation to answer your questions at a traffic stop. Even though they're required to objectively have reasonable suspicion to stop you or to do whatever they're doing under the Fourth Amendment, they don't have to answer to you there at the scene. Their lawyers have to be able to answer theoretically in court after the fact. But this police officer, he's letting him film and he's just answering the questions. He's letting himself be cross-examined. And the kid does a fantastic job of getting this officer on the record. And in response to that, you can see in real time, the police officer then starts to look for ways to retaliate against this guy. He's going and he's checking the tent. Okay, he's desperately searching for marijuana to substantiate the lie that he allegedly smelt and observed marijuana. And I don't know ultimately what happened here because the video sort of cuts off. So if you have any additional information, please send it my way. If the mud flaps, I didn't see them measured, did you? If the mud flaps technically are too short, is that enough to substantiate some sort of detention here? Yes. But remember, all detentions have to be reasonable. So the courts will look at the totality of the facts. If all they've got is mud flaps, then that's not going to make it reasonable to hold the guy at gunpoint, to take him out of his vehicle, to frisk him, and to hold him there while you search for marijuana that doesn't exist. I think there's a grab bag of Fourth Amendment violations here, even if his mud flaps are not too short. And by the way, I've seen police officers do this more and more. If you look closely at your state statutes, there are all sorts of BS equipment requirements. And we have those here in West Virginia. And I've seen state troopers in West Virginia use this. Technically, they can spot some defect. And that's not really what they're interested in. They're interested in retaliating against this person or investigating them for something else. And they can actually have the vehicle in West Virginia towed to a nearby auto body or nearby mechanic and have it inspected by a licensed mechanic. I've only seen this a couple times, but they can go to those lengths if they really want to get somebody. But this isn't the first time that we've seen this sort of behavior in Texas with police officers thinking that they're allowed to just have a hunch that somebody is some sort of drug runner or has warrants out. And this guy seemed to have had a hunch here, and it backfired on him because he was completely wrong and it was completely documented. So if you agree with me or you disagree with me, leave a comment below and let me know what you think. I always hear interesting aspects that I didn't really consider before. If you have a video that you want to submit or you just want me to review, then please use the submission link below. You can subscribe both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. Follow me on Twitter, John Bryan ESQ, or on Facebook, the John H. Bryan Attorney at Law page. Remember, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.